There are a couple seats up here if you want to have a seat. Please come sit down. It's going to be about an hour, so you might want to. Perfect. All right, so before we get started, please turn off your cell phones or set them to vibrate so we don't have any disturbances. I want to thank all of you for attending tonight's forum, and I want to thank the candidates who are here tonight as well. In case you don't know about our organization, Beaches Watch, well, first off, I should say, I'm not Sandy. You all used to seeing Sandy up here. I'm not Sandy. I'm Georgette. Just put that one, I'm not Sandy. But I am here representing Beaches Watch. So, in case you don't know about our organization, Beaches Watch is a nonpartisan, nonprofit civic organization that was founded in 2004. Our mission is to educate and involve citizens in the decisions that affect the future of our beaches, communities of Atlantic Beach, Jacksonville Beach, and Neptune Beach. Beaches Watch does not endorse candidates. Since 2004, we have been hosting nonpartisan candidate forums so voters can learn more about the candidates and make informed decisions when they vote. Before you leave, we encourage you to go by the Beaches Watch table. If you go out the door, it's to the left. The candidate tables are to your right. And pick up one of our brochures to learn more about our organization. If you'd like to receive emails about Beaches issues, please sign up for the email list, which is also at the Beaches Watch table. We also invite you to consider joining Beaches Watch. It's $10 a month, $10 for the year, $15 for your whole family for the year. We really appreciate that. So when you arrive, let's get to this why you are here, the as done. When you arrived, you should have received a program about some candidate information that should be helpful for you. Additional candidate information is also available on the Beaches Watch's website. We send them questions and answers that we ask them to type up and respond to, and that will all be up on the Beaches Watch website. The information includes candidate biographies, the candidate answers to questions specific to Neptune Beach issues and concerns, and you can check those out. You can see the written questions on the back of your program. So if you have the program, questions are on the back that are answered on the website. We'll also be posting the video of tonight's forum on our website. That's us in the middle there. We hope you'll encourage anyone who was not able to attend tonight to check out the video before they vote so that they can make an informed decision. We also hope that you all visit our website to take advantage of all these resources we are providing to you so you can make important decisions. It's like a lot of that. Our format for tonight. Tonight's forum will last about an hour, and all the candidates, both of the candidates, will have 5 minutes for opening statements, 3 minutes to answer each question, and then 5 minutes for closing statements. No time is allocated for rebuttals. This is a forum, not a debate. However, candidates can use a portion of their question response time to provide rebuttals to a previous answer. It's going to be within that 3-minute response time. Audience question cards, which I have some, should have been submitted to the Beaches Watch table prior to the start of the forum. Please understand that due to the limited amount of time, we will not be able to ask all questions submitted. When the closing statements are completed, the candidates will remain here to talk to you one-on-one and answer any individual questions that you may have. So please afford yourself that opportunity. If you find there's something you still have a question at the end of this forum, please find out the answer so you can be educated. One little additional thing. We also ask audience members to be very respectful and hold all your applause until the end of the forum, with the exception of when I introduce the candidates. So I ask that you be quiet throughout the whole forum. We only have 60 minutes. They're on time, and I don't want anybody to not get answers to their questions that are out there. So, without any further ado, I'd like to introduce the two candidates for the position of Mayor of Neptune Beach, Elaine Brown and Bob Shimp. Please, you may applaud. The order that the candidates will be answering tonight's questions was determined prior to the forum via a coin toss, and Bob won the coin toss, so he will be going first. For candidate opening statements, the first question is, please take a moment to introduce yourself, explain why you are running for this office, and briefly describe your experience, qualifications for the position.
What an eventful time we've had ever since the primary. We've had the hurricane and problems throughout the city. I would like to thank Beaches Watch. I'd like to thank my supporters and citizens of Neptune Beach, and especially my family for this long and tiring campaign. And I'd especially like to thank Kevin Brown and his classes for the planting of the sea oats on the dunes, which helped save our beaches. And hopefully all of you will support Kevin when he's ready to go ahead and start planting sea oats again. Wow, this is, I don't know what to say. I thought that I was really going to go ahead and be able to start this and deal with my platform. But I think most of you received this flyer yesterday, and don't know what to say about it except for if you have a book, and in that whole book, you write a story, and then somewhere in the book you have a period. Well, this is like a book, and that period is the truth, and nothing else in here is the truth. And so I would like to go ahead and introduce myself to you and explain more about my platform, and I will, but I really feel like I have to answer some of these questions. The abuse of power. Yes, I did go to Germany. I went to Germany because I had gone throughout the state with then Mayor Dick Brown, and we had looked at numerous vacuum systems. And we had also gone as a council downtown Jacksonville to see a pipe bursting system for the sewer system. So since I was an industrial arts teacher with experience in industry and drafting and understanding a little bit about industry, Rudiker was a company. Rudiker, I'm going to try and make this real brief. Rudiker was a company. They wanted us to go ahead and go with their sewer system, a vacuum sewer system. With that vacuum sewer system, they were offering the city to do the whole city. And if they would do the whole city, they were going to give the city a multi-million-dollar warranty on the city. They were going to use Neptune Beach as their showcase city throughout the United States. And they were going to give us a multi-million-dollar warranty on it, and they were going to do upgrades for us if we needed the upgrades. So they invited me to go, and the whole different people on the council. Dick was invited also to go to Germany. I took him up on it, and what I remember is the council, everyone except one person on the council had an agreement with that, and I went to Germany to represent the city. At that time, there was no ethics involved in it. There was no ethics involved in it at that time. What it was is that the city paid me per diem to eat. And I was flown over and flown back. I never did anything over there. If we would have gone with that sewer system, Neptune Beach today would have lower sewer bills and water bills. And I still feel to this day we should have gone with that system. Wasted tax dollars. The wasted tax dollars and $40,000 was put there. Remember on a council that in Neptune Beach, it takes 3 people to do anything. 3. Now, how can one person waste $40,000? If we voted, 3 of us had to vote to stop the study. I don't even remember it. But probably at that time we just didn't agree with how the study was going. At least 3 of us didn't agree. So I don't really remember that at all. Let's see, I want to get this. Violent and hostile, out of control state of Florida complaint. If you are a public servant, which I was, as a police officer or a teacher, anybody can make a complaint against you. And that complaint goes into your records. If anything that was said in that was true, I wouldn't have been able to teach for 8 more years. I wouldn't have been allowed to retire from the school board. I wouldn't have been allowed to keep my concealed weapons permit. That is totally false. So the only thing I would like to say is that hopefully we can get past this type of politics wherever it's coming from. And Neptune Beach deserves better. We don't need to go the way the national elections are. And I refuse to go into dirty politics. I refuse to do that. Thank you.
Ms. Brown?
Thank you and good evening. I'm Elaine Brown, and it's a pleasure to be here tonight with all of you. It's like a deja vu, only we got a little bit smaller here due to that miserable Matthew that came to visit us all, but we came out so well, and I really cannot. I'm going to start this by thanking Neptune Beach, Leon Smith, Andy Hyatt, Ricky Pike, our chief of police, the great coordination that we had and what was done for our city, and the fact that we escaped something so, what could have been so bad. But the work that they did prior to and right after was phenomenal, and I couldn't be prouder being with the city that is, in my opinion, being so well managed right now and having people that are so dedicated. It was a good job. So I'm glad you're all here. I hope that your homes are okay. I've lived here 33 years now. My husband is Dick Brown. He's here with me tonight. And we have been really just very involved with this city over the 33 years that we have been there. What I did when I first got here was started my business down near Jarboe Park. Went from that business to really getting involved with the Chamber of Commerce, being involved with the Chamber, and eventually chairing it, and really networking, really learning more about the economy of all of our beaches and Jacksonville, and getting involved as a businesswoman. I was a small business owner trying to really run my business, and certainly networking the way that you do. What I learned in being a businesswoman and for being in business for over 16 years truly was that you had to be on budget, stay on budget. Many times in a small business, I can assure you, you write checks to employees before you ever get one, and you shut off the lights and take out the trash. Meaning that a business and a business owner, it's very serious, budgets are very serious. Looking at the planning of what you do and how you're going to increase your next year for your financial statement is something that I took very seriously. But in the meantime, I got very involved with the community and certainly decided to take a twist when I went into political office in Jacksonville representing these beaches. And it was something I had never planned to do, I can assure you, but it was something that I feel was not only very rewarding to me, to my family, certainly something that I appreciate now, and the knowledge that I have, the friends that I've made, what I was able to accomplish in 8 years. I was on the city council from 99 to 2007. It's been almost 10 years since I was in political office. And during that time, I was on the council. I became president of the Jacksonville City Council. Those relationships that I have with the city, with the businesses, and being able to represent and live in these beaches communities has meant everything to me. To be able to continue to serve in the way that I have has been to stay involved. From the time that I got out of office until this very day, and still going on, I have been involved in our communities. I am taking the experience that I've had in business, the experience that I had in working with the city and with budgets, and making sure that I apply the leadership that I have learned and been so grateful to be a part of in so many of the organizations that I've been proud to be a part of. Certainly, I know that if you've read any of the literature, it's great to have saved the ferry. It's now good for 20 years. But there are many other things that I have stayed a part of and been a part of in this city and throughout the beaches. I like to say that we are 3 separate beaches, but one strong voice for the beaches communities is the reason that I am running. I feel as though we pay our hard-earned tax dollars to the county, and following up on those dollars, having 3 beaches with a voice that looks for how we can get better services for our roads, make sure that we are looking for grants for infrastructure. More than anything, just being a community that can work together, that certainly will work for the same goals together. And I'm pleased to be here, and those are some of the reasons that I'm running and feel as though I'm qualified. Thank you.
Thank you. The first question goes to Ms. Brown. The first, Mr. Schimpf. If you are elected, I'm sorry, no. Ms. Brown,
Me.
I had it right. Ms. Brown, if you're elected, name one specific thing you would like to accomplish by the end of your term and explain how you will make it happen.
Ooh, well, there's a couple, but I think that the reason that this city and our community is so special is how we look and how Jarbo Park looks and how our community looks and functions, especially down here in Town Center. So working to make sure that with the businesses, healthy businesses, meaning lower taxes for us, and a beautiful park that we can be proud of, making sure that we have a plan for that park and a plan for not only the parking that we have as a situation here in the Town Center, but that we are really excited about and happy to have businesses that are not only doing well, but expanding it. Looking at how this community, and I hope I'm not dwelling too far from the one thing, but it's all of this coming together as a plan. Working with the Kmart in a redevelopment as that goes forward. If indeed we are looking at the city hall and the jailhouse moving, or not the jailhouse, the police department. Sometimes we need one, but looking at so making it a prettier city, making it a well-functioning city, and having this a city that we all really have participated in to make it a better place to live.
Thank you. Mr. Schiff, same question.
The two things for me is the budget and safety. That was on the other question. What I would like to accomplish. Well, number one, I'd like to accomplish the safety throughout the city and the beaches. And one of the things to me is that, and I've talked off Chief Pike about it, I believe the cities, all three cities have to work together and have interdepartmental training so we are prepared for any situation that can arise in this area. I also believe in property owner rights. I always have. That has been at the very beginning of my campaign. I've never changed that a bit. I believe that the rights, the land usage rights that you buy when you buy your property should stay with you until you sell your property. And that's a grandfather clause. We don't have a grandfather clause. Moving the city hall and the police department, I've already talked to the owners of Pete's. Their family went ahead and gave this property to the city. And when the grandfather gave the property to the city, it was under a stipulation that it was used for the city hall. And they are willing to take it back to court and take this property back away from us if we decide to move it. I don't think we should. I think we need to keep City Hall in Neptune Beach, and I think we need to keep the police department here because Jacksonville paid for half of the police department. Just working to make the city customer friendly. I think that's another big issue. Making the city customer friendly. We're going to do the park. We've done the park before. I don't think that we need to go ahead and put lots and lots of money into the park. I think we need to clean it up and do landscaping and for the kids and for adults also. But making the city customer friendly when you go to get a permit, you're able to get a permit without having to jump through all the hoops in the world. I think that that's one of the things we have to do. The city, we have to be friendly to each other. We've lost the friendliness of Neptune Beach, I feel. I think we can have that back, and I want to see that brought back. I'm only running for 4 years. 4 years. Because at the end of 4 years, I'll be 72 years old. Personally, I think that's old enough to have been in politics, and the other reason is that I actually want to go travel at that time. So hopefully you can understand that I'm not doing this for me for any reason at all. I'm passionate about doing it for you, the citizens. I love Neptune Beach. I had a son that passed away here. I had the whole beaches community come together and help my family.
Thank you. Next question back is with Mr. Schiff for the first one. After all the storm damage, how do you propose restoring the dunes that protect Neptune Beach? And how will you finance that activity?
Wow. You know, to me, I've already put it out on social media and everything. I would like to know why we can't renegotiate a contract with the people that are already here. We have to be able to do that. And that takes not only all 3 beach cities, but it takes the county, it takes the state, and it takes the federal government. FEMA, we need to go ahead. Our leaders need to be very active in this right now. We need to put that back. And just as I said at the very opening, thanking Kevin Brown and his students at Fletcher High for planning the sea oats, it is true that that is what helped save our beach. I'm amazed that how well our beaches held up. I was out during the storm. I stayed at my house. I didn't go to a motel or anything like that. I stayed at my house. And I watched the storm, and I went outside, and I was amazed how well the city has been able to clear the drains. So now there wasn't even flooding on First Street. I went out to the dunes. It was amazing to me how the dunes were falling away. And I was interviewed by the Weather Channel and MSNBC and NBC. They happened to see me walk out onto the dunes, checking out the dunes, sending reports back to the citizens that I'm in contact with through Facebook and others. So again, I think Kevin Brown is going to be a big voice in this. And Kevin's outside the door tonight, right out here. So when you leave tonight, he's just waving. And when you leave tonight, talk to Kevin about it. He has basically bought a lot of the sea oats himself. Let's as a community come together and help buy the sea oats for the school. We can do this. We've done it before. We did it before when Fletcher Stadium was in disrepair, and I was elected to the city council at that time. And I started the stadium committee with I'm just brain dead right now. Mr. Baker. Mr. Baker was on the committee with me. We started that committee. We forced Jacksonville to rebuild that stadium when they didn't want to do it. They told us no, that it was built by the JCs. It was built by the JCs, so they didn't want to do it. But we went ahead and we put pressure on them as a group, not as an individual, as a group. And that's what I want to do with Neptune Beach. When I'm elected mayor, I want to work with you as a community, not as an individual.
Ms. Brown, same question?
You know, the beach renourishment project that's going on right now, we've all been watching it, and I'm going to say the very same thing about the dunes. The dunes really saved, Neptune Beach has saved all the beaches. But as this project is moving, it's moving about 500 to 700 feet a day. As it's moving, it's not restoring the dunes. What's being negotiated right now, and the Corps of Engineers has negotiated, and this is their contractor that's out there, they've really put a budget together that if they were to, right now, get $6.2 million more, they could start restoring our dunes as well. What it would mean is that they would start piling some sand now, but as they move forward, they'll do the dunes as well as the beach renourishment. So we would be looking at, and these figures are figures that are right now being thrown at the county and the state, which are the people that are going to negotiate with the Corps to stop them from doing just beach renourishment, but go ahead and apply the sand dune sands as well, which would be wonderful for us. So that's being negotiated. We should know in the next couple of days whether or not that will happen, but it would probably mean that the city would immediately have to come up with about $2.5 million, the county would, to go ahead and offset their portion of the $6.2 million that's needed. And it could be 7, but it certainly is, it's a lot of money. It's being negotiated now with the state. The governor has been so supportive of the beaches, and Mayor Curry is talking to them, and all 3 beach mayors, all 3 city managers are waiting to hear if this is going to happen. So I think that we can keep our fingers crossed about that, because if they don't do it now while they're here, they will have to bring all of this equipment back, renegotiate another deal, and it would cost us millions more. So what they're hoping for, what we're hoping for, and looking for, and we should know this within the next few days as to what will happen. So I'm hoping that that's what's going to be. I think, future of getting this done quickly. And we'll just have to wait and see.
Well, since we're on the topic of budgets, Ms. Brown, the next question is for you. With a large amount of our tax dollars going towards the city of Jacksonville, how do you propose we receive our fair share of services or money from Jacksonville?
Oh, well, you know, this city budget in 17 is going to be about $4.7 million. And we certainly have a large budget for our wonderful police department, and we want them to have the best equipment and the best training. And certainly, looking ahead, we are going to need to supplement our budget by working very closely, as I said in the beginning, a strong voice, all three beaches, a strong voice that we ask and request from the state and from the county is something that we need. Working together to make sure we're going to follow those dollars into the county, because those are ad valorem dollars that go to the county, and then they give us back a portion. And we also get sales tax dollars that come in. We can supplement so much that we do in the future, especially with infrastructure. We've got, you know, a capital improvement plan that goes out 5 years for every department. Our city manager and certainly all of the different departments have got what their needs are planned out 5 years. But what we have to do is hopefully supplement and work harder to get more of the dollars that we deserve and we should be getting from our county government. And I will tell you that looking at, when we talk about what we need for infrastructure, we've got millions of dollars in grants that have come. We need to continue to do those kinds of requests that push even harder. And that goes for parks as well. I think we can have a beautiful park with more trees. I think that our city, and looking at our city as to how we run it, how we manage it, continue to have open budget meetings, continue to have line item budget, and continue to have a citizenry that is a part of all of those budgets. There's not a meeting that you can't come to when they start going over the budget that it isn't discussed. And then I would like to make sure that as we're moving forward, that you, the citizens, and we, the city council and mayor, answer your questions and work with you on how we can make this and improve our city and make this something that we're all very proud of. But I think the budget, as it stands right now, it's a budget that we have to stick to. We have been sticking to it well. We got a great city manager right now that certainly is making sure that as we look at our capital improvement plans, as we mark down what we have to have for the future, for all of the infrastructure that we are going to need for future grants, and we're going to work very hard to go after this.
Thank you. Mr. Schimpf, any questions?
First thing I'd do is the first budget meeting I'd attend, I would ask the departments to cut the budget by 1%. I've talked to many business owners and they agree that any business, any government should be able to cut their budget by 1%. That'd be a first step. Second step is that yes, we have to work together as a beach, and that means all three beaches, and readdress the issues with Jacksonville. And one of the reasons why this is so important is because of the Better Jacksonville plan. The Better Jacksonville plan was put into effect in the 2000s with Mayor Delaney. It always goes back to there what's going to hurt us. And to make a long story short about that, because you can look it up on the internet if you look for the Better Business Plan or the Police and Fire Pension Fund, you'll find out the council back in the 2000s took out $44 million for the city budget and put it in to the Better Jacksonville plan. And then for 3 years, they didn't put any money back into it. Now, how does that affect us? It affects us because when, in 2030, when the Better Jacksonville plan taxes kick out and the new taxes kick in for the Police and Fire Pension Fund, which we owe them, we're going to lose $400,000 a year. $400,000 a year. That's what we're going to lose in Neptune Beach, at least. I mean, to me, it's unconscionable that before anybody agreed on that plan, we should have known that, and we should have got, the mayors at the three beaches should have got together with Mayor Curry and worked it out with him at that time how we were going to supplement that $400,000 a year in 2030. So what we can do, we're not going to change the parking. We're not going to change parking in town center. All the parking is owned by one person. It's private property. He can close it down. We can help a little bit by going over and working with the people that want to redo Kmart parking. The man that wants to do that, he offered me money for my campaign. I turned him down. He said that he could possibly put a walkover that would come over to Neptune Beach. There's a lot of things we can do with the budget. The thing is, we have to be fiscally responsible. And right now, I think the city manager is doing a great job. And as long as we stay on that path, possibly we will be able to do that.
Thank you. Mr. Shin, what policies would you advocate to ensure that the future growth is beneficial to our Seaside residential community?
I'm totally property owner rights, residential. Our city's in Neptune Beach is a bedroom community. I don't see bending over backwards and helping out businesses. I look forward to businesses moving into our business district, but I do not want to see the businesses take over 3rd Street or go down further on 3rd Street than what they already are. I think instead of like the council in the past, or some of the councils, now I'm not going to say each one because every council thinks they do a good job, but one of the councils decided to go ahead and give 50% less parking, require 50% less parking in the town center area. That's one of the reasons we have a parking issue in town center. I don't plan on doing that for any of the businesses. I'm not looking, this is such a vibrant and a welcoming area that businesses want to come here. They want to come here. And so I want to go ahead and encourage them to come here. There was a long time ago, the problem with the Kmart shopping plaza, that area, believe it or not, that business or the people that owned it were able to make more tax dollars than they would have gotten from, it was a tax write-off, more tax dollars than they would have gotten if they were to rented the buildings out. Now, I'll say it again because I see some of you kind of squinting and saying, what did he say? It is beneficial for some companies to take a tax write-off on their property than it is to rent out when they're large corporations. My dad did it working for Ohio Fast Freight. He was the one that told me about that. He had hundreds of tractors in the back of his corporation. I asked him why he didn't fix them, get them on the road. And that's what he told me. It was a tax write-off. So I think we need to go ahead and keep Neptune Beach residential. I think that on the ocean, there's a certain area right now on the ocean that there's a problem with, and it's all residential property, and there could be a possibility, it's right on the ocean, there could be a possibility where people want to come in and make it commercial, and it'd be right in the middle of a residential area. I think the city, Neptune Beach, needs to immediately go ahead and do an ordinance to protect that part of the beach and keep it from turning into all businesses instead of I think there's 6 homes there right now that are residential.
Thank you. Ms. Brown, same question.
What was your question?
What policies would you advocate to ensure that future growth is beneficial to our Seaside residential community?
Well, the policies that we have to have is to work well with our businesses. When we have successful businesses, as opposed to having them closed up and going out of business, it certainly doesn't help us with taxes. So we want that income, and we need that income to come into our beaches area. So healthy businesses are something we want to support. When we are supporting our town center and their businesses, it truly means that we are supporting us. And having the ability to work with a policy within this city hall that is friendly to business, promoting it, but continually looking at how we can help each and every person that wants to improve their properties because we all want our property values to continue to go up. We want our community to have high standards in the community. So the policies would be, as they should be in every city, have good, solid growth in your business district that conforms, but to also, our priority is to keep this a residential community with great community input and for all of us to work in that direction. So the policy is to keep us in this beautiful community that we have already with a residential quality that we want, but to make sure that as we move forward and as we look, and if the Kmart shopping center does get redeveloped, we will have another opportunity, I think, for parking and shuttle surfaces that could start from there and bring us into the central business district here. But also, we would demand what that's going to look like, how it's going to look better than just an old ugly strip center. And really, these are the kinds of policies that are in place, but we will watch and make sure as a city council and as a strong city manager form of government that what we're asking and what we're demanding is that our quality of life remains on an upward climb and that we work together to see that it does.
Thank you. Next question is back to Ms. Brown. Since Kmart Plaza has been brought up a couple times now, the next question is, what type of business or development would you like to see come into the location of the closed Kmart, and how would you work with property owners to achieve that?
Well, I'll tell you what, I think that I will just celebrate the day that a big box goes away. And I would love to see, as the redevelopment starts coming forward, that he looks at mixed use. I'd like to see more green space. I'd like to see that he goes after shops or businesses that come in there that are more upscale, and that what we're looking for matches what we have in our very upscale yet very, I think, seaside community of Neptune Beach, and that we pass along that same architectural look and architectural standards. Those standards are something that we have here. They're beautiful. We've got a gorgeous town center, and everything that they've done to improve it with the pavers, with the bricks, with the lanterns. I'd like to see more green space for us, but in Kmart Shopping Center, I think that as he comes to the city and he is asking for his redevelopment, his permitting, that we will have a great opportunity to negotiate for more green space, parking that will help to serve this area, and certainly something that is, other than a Kmart, I know Kmart served us for an awful long time here, but in shops and businesses that I think would serve us well and be beneficial to the area.
Thank you. Mr. Shin?
First, I want to clarify something that I said last time. I'm not unfriendly to businesses. I'm not going to be unfriendly to businesses, but I'm not going to go ahead and sell out Neptune Beach to businesses either. The Kmart Shopping Center, I met with, all of us had a chance to meet with the man that owns the area. Actually, what he wants to do, he wants to build a multi-use facility there. He's going to use one new supermarket, Lucky's. He's going to use that as his foundation. He does want to have green space in the area. He does want to have upscale shops. He does want to have outside dining and everything. But for all of that he wants to do, he wants to take our passive park right behind it, right behind Sportsplex, and have that where his retention pond would have to be. And then if he does all that and Neptune Beach gives him that area for a retention pond, then he said he would consider building a ramp going over 3rd Street. He said part of that road right there, I think it's Cherry, part of that belongs to him. And he would think about doing a walkover at that area. Personally, if we had to do something like that, we can negotiate with him. He had his son-in-law with him when I talked to him. And his son-in-law is going to be in charge of the project. So I know he wants to come here and do that. On the 2nd or 3rd floor of the new Kmart, that area, if he does it, he wants to have what he calls lofts. And the lofts, he told me, would be more expensive than the homes that were next door to it. I went and walked that area for him. And I came back to him and told him about 1/3 of the people were against it. And the other 2/3 were for it. That if he really wanted to do that, he has to get to the citizens to approve that and to go along with him. I've done that with Summer Sands. I've been, kept the road going through Summer Sands. So that part of the building and rebuilding of Kmart can be done. And he told me though, and just to tell everybody, he told me that if he can't get something worked out, that he would consider closing the parking to town center. So we as a community have to, that belongs to him. Justice saw somebody. I just want to say that property belongs to him. It's not city property. It's not public, all that parking area. So if he wants to close it, he can close it. So we as a community and we as a council have to work with him to try to come up with a viable situation or a plan that we can develop that area.
Thank you. Next question is for Mr. Shrimp. Let's take this from the external, let's go back inside now. So the new city council will be charged with hiring a new city clerk. Is there anything you would like to see done differently regarding the city clerk position? Would you support this position being a part-time or a full-time, certified municipal clerk, anything else? So this is city clerk specific. Mr. Shrimp, it's your question.
Wow, that's a big issue. The city clerk's position in Neptune Beach has always been a very volatile situation. As a matter of fact, when Becky Hanks was there, they took a certain petition to have that position changed at that time. The city clerk in Neptune Beach sits in this building and works for the city council and for you, the citizens. And what happens with her is that she's looked at by the other people within the city as being a tattletale. That's what the city clerk is looked at, because they don't answer to the city manager. They don't answer to anybody except for the city council. Do I think that that's a good idea? Yeah, I really do. I think you have to you should be able to watch government both ways, through the city manager and through a city clerk that only works for the city council and the citizens. Remember, you can call a city clerk and they're supposed to get you your information that you want. I hope that we can find someone. I know that we're being sued right now. The city is being sued. I wish our city would be a little bit more understanding and try to work with everybody, not only citizens, but with the people that work with the city, in the city. There should have been counseling for the lady that was fired. We should have tried to do something more than we did. I don't want to change the city clerk's position at all. If it's going to stay a volatile situation, maybe we need to move them out to the city yard. I heard the city yard has a lot of different, and the city yard has a lot of empty rooms. Maybe we should move them out there so it's not looked at that way. But yet, we have our own. That doesn't come under one other person, and that one person, the city manager, is the only person. We are a strong city manager form of government. People up on the city council are the board of directors. We don't run the city. We should not try to run the city. We should oversee the city manager, but we need someone that can help us with that everyday insight into what's going on.
Ms. Brown, same question?
Thank you. You know, building a team within a business, within a city, making sure that what we have are set policies and set rules that govern what we do within that city, within that business, are common. They're achievable. Having someone that's either full-time or part-time, that's something that can be decided by the city council, or going forward as duties may get to be more demanding, they can become full-time. I think that you can build a team. I think that working together, you know, volatile is something, I'm sorry if it's been volatile in the past. I don't think that's a necessary way for us as a small city and a small city hall to even think that we should function. I think that we can build a team that does one thing. It serves the people of Neptune Beach, and the policies that we have in place that really are to serve the city council, to work with the city manager, and to work for the betterment of the city. I don't see why policies like that couldn't work. I think they should work. And I would certainly think that, you know, as we move forward, whether it's full-time or part-time, that could be applied.
Okay, and now let's bring the next question going back out again, like out to the beaches as a whole. Whatever happens in Atlantic Beach or Jacksonville Beach has an effect on Neptune Beach. What issues would you like to address with your neighboring mayors if you are elected? That goes to you, Ms. Brown.
Well, you know, first of all, with our neighbor over in Atlantic Beach, parking and sharing just across the street and you're into another city, people don't know that. And making sure that we work together with the Merchants Association, with the mayor over there and the policies that they have to keep this on. I think it's just going very, very well. We have got a vibrant city center. We've got a beautiful city center, and I think that working together we can keep it that way. And the merchants are on both sides, so they have a Merchants Association. One of the things that they have been really mulling over for a while and hopefully will implement in the future will be to have the ability to have off-site parking, whether it be over at a Kmart, who knows, but being able to have the same type of shuttles that are going on within all three beaches right now. And some of them are free, and some may be paid for in the future by the Merchants Association. I think I heard one, what I thought was really great, that they may even come to your home and get you and bring you in here. You wouldn't have to bring your car. That sounded good to me. But working together with them, with Jacksonville Beach, again, the partnerships that we form together as we go to the county to demand more services, to make sure that we are and they are living up to what our needs are and what they promised us, and then asking and working together as we lobby Tallahassee and the federal government for grants together for beach renourishment in the future. Those are the things that we need to do. So working together, the cities, to me, is very important. We don't want to be an isolated community. We have 3 beaches communities, and when you cross over in that sand or cross the street here, we're a community that appreciates our beaches and our quality of life, and I would like to see that we have a strong relationship with them.
Thank you. Mr. Schimpf, same question?
First of all, I think we need overlay for town center. And then we need to have a group of people, merchants, citizens, elected officials that would work together for the overlay. And Atlantic Beach wants that also, because the 2 beaches are the same right in town center, and everybody knows that. So the other thing with Jack's Beach, one of the things there is that the loan of equipment throughout all 3 beaches. We loan each other equipment. I think that helps us so we don't have to buy some of our own equipment, especially big equipment. I'd like to see that. I was on the town center agency. I was on the town center agency when we redid the parking and made it diagonally, or at an angle. I was on town center agency when we bricked the roads. We worked together, and John Meserve was the representative for Atlantic Beach. I was the representative for Neptune Beach. We did a great job, and we worked together. And I think that you have to have someone within the city council that is on that town center agency, and they can come back like I did and present things to the city. The dog ordinance is one of the things that it has to be approached by all 3 cities. I've said at the very beginning that if I was elected mayor, I would ask Roy Diamond to go ahead and to be a person that would spearhead this committee, all 3 cities. When you're walking down the beach, or especially our visitors, they don't know when they walk into Neptune Beach, and they may have a dog, and our dog ordinance is different than Atlantic Beach. We have to get this thing straight. We have canines for warriors training in Ponte Vedra, and they bring their service dogs up here to the beach. We have to go ahead and work with the community. The interlocal agreement, I think all 3 cities should get together, because remember, we're all working for the same thing. We don't get as much because we're not as big as Jacksonville Beach or Atlantic Beach. But we can get a percentage, we can work this out. And all 3 mayors go together and try to renegotiate the interlocal agreement. Remember, this needs to be renegotiated all the time because the taxes change. The taxes go up in Jacksonville, they go down. We have a recession, and everything changes. So we have to readdress the interlocal agreement every three years. And I am just thankful that we do have such great neighboring cities. And I've lived in Jacks Beach, and you can't tell the difference. And when something happens, all three beaches come together, and also three beaches support each other. We're a community.
Thank you. And since Mr. Schimpf had the first with the opening statement, we'll give Ms. Brown the first dibs at the closing statement. You have 5 minutes.
Okay. Well, thank you. I think that there's an awful lot as we move forward as a community that we'd like to see done and like to see accomplished, and it can only be done by working together. I think a city hall that works for you, a city hall that looks out for your dollars, that looks out for the budget, that's fiscally responsible to everything that we have here, and that looks for ways that we as a city can supplement our budget through grants, through working with the state, and certainly working with the county. I think that those are the things that all of us want. To look at a city that we can be proud of. I'm very proud to live here, and as I've been knocking on doors, I am telling you, we've got a city that the people are passionate, that live here about their communities. This is a community that has, as you've just seen, when we had trees down, people were rushing out to help their neighbors, helping them with all the cleanup that they had with trees that had fallen on their homes. There was nothing that I saw that was selfish in any one block of a neighborhood, and it was people who really were working together. That's something that's just natural in this community. I think that the only reason that I can tell you right now that excites me for running are some of the opportunities that we have in the future for Neptune Beach to grow, but to grow as a solid community with a city council that works together, that can really have your home, your quality of life, and our Seaside village, our community, as what we all strive for. So having this city hall that works for you is something that's not only doable, but I think that we should strive for, and we seem to be getting closer all the time. The people that we have in place right now, our city manager, the departments that we have that have worked so hard for us, just speak very highly for the volume of work that they do, but also for the standard that they have set to serve us. I want to continue that standard. I think that the standard that we have set, that you have actually set, is something that we should continue, and to look forward to any challenges that come towards us, we can handle together. Consensus building, putting a team together, and working for the betterment of this community is exactly what we have to do, and I pledge to you that's what I would do. That's what I look forward to. I look forward to those challenges, but more important, I look forward to serving you, and I thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Schimpf, 5 minutes.
Again, because of this, I hate to say it, there's one other one that I didn't get to address, and that was failed leadership. And it said that I ran for city council in Jacksonville. I never ran for city council in Jacksonville. And it said that our councils were failed councils. I think it said something like that on there. Unfortunately, that would have meant that Dick Brown, I was nominated for vice mayor by Harriet Pruitt and voted in by Dick Brown in the council. So that must have meant that council was a bad council too. I don't understand that. It just, I'm here to tell you the truth. I have passion for the city of Neptune Beach. I love Neptune Beach, and I want Neptune Beach to grow better. And Harriet Pruitt has done a good job. And I think that we can go ahead and do a better job by making Neptune Beach more customer friendly, making it easier to repair and our property and to get permits. Maybe not even have to have a permit to put a light on the outside of your house, which we have to have now. There's not a whole lot else that I really can go ahead and tell you, because I think, and the reason why I say that is you've seen my platform since the day I started running this race. I have not changed my platform one bit. you'll see on all my palm cards that I marked through the primary date, and I put down November the 8th. I'm still running on the same platform. I haven't changed my platform because something seems to be better, or something is now popular. I'm running on the same one. One of the things I would like to do, and I'll just throw this in for everybody, I would like to take golf carts and get them certified by the cities or all the beach areas, so all 3 beaches can have them. Because right now, if you try to have a golf cart, which is supposed to be green friendly, what happens is that you have to pay the same same insurance on that you do a car. Downstate, they don't have to do that. Make it more friendly so people can go throughout all the beaches can use the golf carts. I found that out by just trying to rent a golf cart or thinking about buying one. So let's go ahead and work as a community, all three cities. And if I get elected on the council, one other thing, I'm not going to be an angry mayor. I'm not angry. I have been angry in the past. I've been ashamed of myself in the past. I'm not angry now. Only thing I'm happy I have a grandson. I love my grandson, I love my children, and I love my community. So hopefully on November the 8th, you'll go out and vote for me and forget about the trash that you're getting in the mail and just take it like the tie I wore, Igor. Nobody loves me. And that's why I wore it today. So it's from Winnie the Pooh if you don't need to know it. So let's come together as a community and let's walk out of here tonight and everybody hold their heads up high and know that we're going to do the right thing until the election. Thank you very much.
Thank you.